Hello, Oracles. Well, last week we had Elon coming out announcing a new CEO for X Corp slash Twitter. So, this is great news. Does this mean that the overhang is officially over? Well, we'll get into that, where the stock is moving from here, what levels we could be looking at based upon this information, and what that means for Tesla, because we also got rumors that Elon may be stepping down as CEO of Tesla. Is that true? Is it not? We'll find out in just a minute. All right, so jumping into the charts really quick, we saw on Friday that we almost filled this gap all the way up here to 177.65. We got to 177.43, I believe. Don't quote me on that penny there, but very close to completely filling that gap to 177 above us. Above that, there is this tiny little 8 cent gap that goes to 183.58. So we have this tiny little gap here and this tiny little gap here. Now, we did end up pulling down at the end of the day. So pulling down, and we do have this tiny little gap down here from 162.95. So, where do we go from here? I'm not sure. This week we've got the annual shareholder meeting. For those of you who do follow the astrology of life, we have Mercury retrograde finishing on May 17th. So, we have the annual shareholder meeting. The day after that, Mercury retrograde ends. So, does that mean that maybe we're going to get a rally after that? So, I truly don't know. It seems like there's a bunch of shorts coming out ahead of the annual shareholder meeting trying to push this down. Last time we spoke to Alexandra a few months ago, she was under the impression that she was figuring we would see some suppressed numbers and stock prices and valuations going into the annual shareholder meeting before we got some more information. Then after that, we could run. And, she hasn't been wrong. So we basically bounced at the peak around the 214 level and then haven't really gone anywhere near back up to that. We've been trading sideways for quite a while now. So maybe that is what happens. Maybe we pull down, fill this 162 gap, and then bounce up. Maybe we pull down even further and fill that 146 gap before the annual shareholder meeting. Again, a lot's to happen that we can see this week. The annual shareholder meeting is Tuesday. So it would be a very short time for this to drop about $20 in 2 days. Totally possible, not like we haven't seen it before, but it'll be interesting to see how we roll. Looking at the RSI, as we've said before, we've been kind of going from overbought to oversold. So the oversold this time around was a very short dip. So, we really just dipped our toes into it and then came out of it. And we've been climbing up. So, with the annual shareholder meeting, are we going to then continue pushing up to get into the overbought range again before we come down to oversold? We just have to wait and see. So I will be doing a live stream for the annual shareholder meeting on Tuesday as per usual. Ironically, it falls on the Tuesday live stream night, so works out perfectly. So I will get you guys more information about that as we get closer. And as we saw last week, Elon Musk excited to announce that I've hired a new CEO for X slash Twitter. She will be starting in 6 weeks. My role will transition to being executive chair and CTO, overseeing product, software, and sysops. And Elon did follow up with a tweet. I am excited to welcome Linda Yaccarino as the new CEO of Twitter. Linda will focus primarily on business operations while I focused on product design and new technology. Looking forward to working with Linda to transform this platform into X, the everything app. Now, this is basically what Elon does for all of his companies as it is. The CEO part of the job title, he doesn't like that. He's said it before. He doesn't like all the day to day business things like that. He wants to drive the product, be there for actually building this product and making it better and just kind of being the cheerleader for them as it goes out. So we know that he wants to do this with Tesla as well. But we had some rumors coming out that, they were saying that Zach Herkhorn is going to be coming up to be the CEO of Tesla and Elon was going to be stepping down. This was coming in the same breath as this whole announcement with Twitter. So not to say that Elon isn't going to step down, not to say that Zach couldn't handle that role, but that would be it. I mean, Zach basically does a lot of that stuff in the CEO role anyway as the CFO. And so now it would just be a matter of he's taking on some more of those duties from the CEO role so that Elon can focus more on what he actually enjoys doing versus all of the day-to-day business stuff that he's got going on. So I don't think that one's true. He has not confirmed it. But what he did confirm in a tweet response to Eva McMillan was, and as Eva tweeted out, Elon, please let Wall Street Journal know you aren't stepping down from being the CEO of Tesla. These clowns belong in the circus. Elon responds, obviously, bringing on Linda allows me to devote more time to Tesla, which is exactly what I will be doing. So, no, he didn't officially confirm nor deny that he was going to be stepping down as CEO of Tesla, but he did say that he's going to be dedicating more of his time over there. So, does this mean that Zach is going to take on the CEO role and Elon is going to be stepping down, but still being more prevalent over there in a lot of different areas with the company as they drive forward? We do know that FSD is getting extremely close to getting solved. They've got Optimus coming up. They've got energy. They've got Mexico. They've got the compact car, the next gen platform. So much stuff coming out. It's really time that Elon does come back over and focus a lot more of his attention there. And it looks like that is what we are going to be getting. So, as of right now, all we know is that he is still CEO. He is coming over and will be focusing more attention there. Now, we know that Linda will be coming on in 6 weeks. So there's, of course, going to be a transition period. Elon is still going to be focused on Twitter as well, but many of the duties that he was taking on can now be passed off to Linda, and he does not have to handle those, thereby freeing up some time for him to get back to Tesla. Now, again, good timing with the annual shareholder meeting going on this week. I have no doubt we're going to be hearing more details about this. I don't know what announcements we're going to get at the annual shareholder meeting. Do we hear about the next factory that is coming up? Do we hear about anything from the vehicle standpoint? Elon usually says that those aren't the places that he likes to share that information. He likes to give new vehicle platforms a dedicated time and place just for that announcement itself. But who knows? Elon is like an excited little kid, and sometimes will come out and just kind of give us enough hints to make us understand and know what is going on. So if you pay close enough attention, you'll know what's coming down the pipe. And he really doesn't hide it much, but the details we may not get until later. So otherwise, very exciting going on. I think we may get a bump from this. Pay attention to how the stock moves into the annual shareholder meeting. If we are running up into it, there's a chance we may get a sell off afterwards. If we are kind of suppressed going into it, we may pop afterwards. So again, these times right now are very difficult to judge, very difficult to determine which way we're going to go one way or the other. I just keep on adding every day, getting very excited. I'm over 66 shares now. And again, thanks to all of you guys and all the super thanks and super chats. When I get my paycheck coming in next week from Google and YouTube, I will be showing you guys how much you have contributed and how many shares I was able to pick up just because of all of you and all of your support. And one last piece to get into comes down to the fundamentals of the company, looking at the inventory levels that are going on around the world for Tesla. Some people are kind of concerned about, hey, are inventory levels building up? What is going on? Are we actually going to be getting into a situation where demand issues are coming into play again? So this is similar to what we had seen at the end of last quarter. Just inventories are building up, and this is where, Tesla and their pricing power just come into play. If they do see inventory levels building up, and this is because they're ramping so quickly in their factories, they're just building cars faster than they're selling them in some cases. So then they adjust the prices along the way to mitigate all of that, get more of those cars flushed out, and move along. Remember that Ford was making negative 102% on their vehicles. Tesla is still profitable. They're at 19 to 21% on their vehicles. So even if they come down on prices a little bit, they are still profitable. And again, their focus right now is getting as many vehicles on the road as possible because they're looking long term. They're looking at this as just being the platform that people are going to be able to spend even more money on with software as FSD gets solved and they come out with other options for software as well. So, this is the move that Tesla is making right now. So, if we're seeing inventory levels building up, I am not too concerned about them because I know Tesla will just adjust prices accordingly to be able to get those vehicles moved out. Remember, Austin and Berlin just hit 5,000 vehicles per week for production. So that is moving up very quickly. And we're still in difficult economic times where the Fed just raised interest rates yet again, making it even more difficult for people to get vehicles and loans for those vehicles. So, as Elon said, the higher the interest rates go, the harder it's going to be for people to get vehicles, the more pressure that's going to put on demand. Now, again, as this is said, when we get to June, we may end up seeing that pause. We're probably going to be paused for quite a while, but as soon as the Fed pivots in the other direction, that's where we're going to see the opposite effect happen. That's where we're going to see more people are going to be able to afford vehicles. So all of this demand issue that they're having right now, based upon the macro environment and all vehicle sales being down across all companies across the world, When we see those interest rates coming down, that's really going to make the difference. We're going to see the demand going back up again, strictly from an affordability standpoint, because interest rates are not so high. So we'll probably end up seeing that sometime in 2024, a long time before that happens. Maybe some sideways trading until then. Probably just going to see these same swings up and down. We're going to go to overbought, to oversold, overbought, oversold, sideways trading, lots of ups and downs. Great for swing traders who are out there. So just be patient for those of you guys who are long term holders. Keep on adding if you can, dollar cost average if you want, not financial advice, but we will get through this and eventually we will get back to a true bull market again, and the stocks can go up again for the next 8 to 10 years. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. Have a great one.